Andrew, you know, we work with students every day. We have been working with students for the last 15 years.
Long time, yeah.
Long time. But there's certain fears when people first come to us that I want to talk about. So please share with me one of the fears that you see all the time.
One of the big fears is if I get interest from a company, I wouldn't possibly know what to say back to them. I wouldn't know what to email, what to say back to their questions. I don't even know what question is going to ask me. They're fearful of the unknown.
Yeah.
I couldn't talk to a big company. You know, they know a lot more than I do. What do you have to say to that, Stephen?
Well, Andrew, what's amazing that we know that, and we know that this deal is important, and we know that this deal can be life-changing. So we got to handle this correctly, and that's why at inventRight we do things a little differently. First of all, you have coaches that will guide you through the whole process to get that deal or that licensing agreement in your hands. And when that happens, they notify me. That's when I come in and say, all right, take a deep breath. I'm going to walk you through this process. It's going to be slow. We're going to take our time, but we're going to do the right deal. And that's what I like about it, Andrew, because I've done this so many times for the last 15 years. For my whole career, I see licensing agreements about every week now, and I know how to negotiate these deals. And I can almost guarantee, if you get a licensing agreement, we're going to get it.
Yeah. Now, what's really unique about our company, Stephen, that everybody should know is that we will basically do every negotiation for you, but you're the mouthpiece. So if you get an email from a company and you're like, well, I don't know how to respond to this, we're going to tell you exactly how. If you have a phone call in 3 days, we're going to tell you what to say on the call, whether it's the first call, which is obviously going to be handled a certain way, or a call 2 months in for an advanced negotiation. There's a dance, Stephen talks about this. This is a dance that you do with the company. Now, it's via phone and email, Stephen, right? You're not flying out and meeting with them.
No, you're not, and you're right. There is a dance from those first calls, and I love those that dance. But you got to make sure you're not stepping on anybody's toes. You have to have the right attitude. And what I like about it, when a company reaches out to one of our students, they always underestimate the student. And because it's an individual, it's not a company to company. And I like that because that gives us the advantage because they don't know you're working with someone that has over 30 years of experience in negotiating licensing agreements. They're the ones that are at a disadvantage. They just don't know it.
Yeah, I have to say this in Stephen's behalf because when you get a contract, your coach will put you on over to Stephen, and Stephen will tell you what to email back, what to say. He'll go through the contract, explain it to you, what you need to say back to the company. They'll make the changes and send it back to you. So Stephen's been licensing for 30 plus years. We do licensing at inventRight for the last 15 years, day in, day out, nonstop.
Yeah.
It's very natural for us. Even a very large company, they don't do licensing day in, day out.
No, they don't.
So that's why they have advantage. So 98% of the time, they are not even close to on a level playing field with us. Maybe like 2 or 3%. Stephen's like, oh, this is fun, this is challenging. But most of the time, it's the same stuff over and over again.
Andrew, they're at such a big disadvantage, they don't even know it. I know it, you know it. And what I like is when that licensing agreement comes, you've finally done all the work, and guess what? It's there. That's so important. There's a sense of urgency. There's a sense of excitement. There's a sense of nervous. You're being nervous. You're all those things. And I calm you down. I calm you down and say, all right, you're in good hands. We're going to take it one step at a time. I'm going to be there every step along the way. And that's what I like about it, Andrew, because I know how important it is. I know that these licensing agreements can be life-changing, but you have to do this in a correct procedure. You have to have a great attitude. You have to understand the language. And guess what? You have to understand their next moves because it's like a chess game. And they're playing that. When that first license agreement comes over, it's going to be awful. It's going to look awful. And you're going to be going like, what just happened? And I'm here telling you, perfectly fine. Take a deep breath. It's normal.
It's normal. And I want to say something else. 70% of moving a licensing deal forward is dependent on you, which would freak you out normally, but with us helping, you're like, okay, just tell me what to do. If you get a company interested and you expect them to go, well, here's our formal process. We do these things. Ain't going to happen. And it's not about you being pushy. It's about you doing and saying certain subtle things. These companies are very knee-jerk reactions. I hate to use the word manipulate, but it's easy to guide the negotiation. It's very easy. Stephen loves it. I mean, I have to say, hanging out with Stephen for the last 15 years, I think he enjoys the negotiating more than the actual inventing even.
Andrew,
he's a freak about it. So you guys are very lucky to have him.
You know how exciting it is for me.
Sorry, I didn't mean to call you a freak, Stephen.
Well, you can call me whatever you want. Andrew knows I love it, and the reason why, I've seen these companies play the same game over and over again, and it's really it's a chess game. That's what it is. And who has played the game more, and who knows the end results. But the bottom line is this: we have to be careful. We have to have the right attitude. I've even had students, Andrew, that's come to us that have lost a licensing agreement because of something happened. And I tell them, let's go back and get it. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, no.
I remember one in particular recently.
It's never over.
Yeah.
And I've gone back, told them what to do. They contacted the company, and we got the deal done. It's good. It's attitude, the correct knowledge about negotiation. It's giving them what they need, so they give you what you need. It's a process that I enjoy, and we've been helping students with those deals almost weekly now, and I love it.
And Stephen, sometimes people have had a lot of experience with negotiations, but licensing, if you have had that experience, is a different type of negotiation. So we can get you tweaked in there. And the last thing that I want to leave you guys with is, when you've been through a deal or two with us, you'll have understood the process, because you're the mouthpiece, emailing and talking to the company, but we're guiding you at every step. You're going to felt like you did it. So in the future, during the year that you're with us, we'll help you through every negotiation, unlimited negotiations. But when you're not with us anymore, once you have had the experience, that you say at some point, I get it, I don't need you guys anymore, I can negotiate contracts myself now. Yeah. And that is a very unique thing that we're doing there, and we give you that experience by the way that we do it. If we just did everything for you and weren't behind the scenes like we are, you wouldn't be empowered to do this the rest of your life.
Well, the other thing too, Andrew, that you said, that you kind of touched upon is, because I'm guiding you and because you're learning, if you had to bring on a licensing attorney to do this, that would have cost you...
Very expensive.
Very expensive, because it takes about a month. Now, that sounds like a long time, but you have to go back and forth. And if you had to pay for that, number one, maybe you wouldn't get the deal you want, because I'm going to try to get the business terms first. And second, you're going to have someone try to help you, maybe even negotiate for you. That never works. So you're going to learn about licensing. You're going to save a lot of money, and you're going to get the deal you want. Andrew, I'm going to say this. If you get that licensing agreement, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it every time, because I understand it, and I've done it almost every week now for years and years and years.
But just so imagine this scenario: you call 30 companies. We push our students to call 20 or 30 if possible, and you get interest from 5. And every time you get a little interest, you call a licensing attorney at $2, $3, $4 an hour. That's going to get really expensive. You call us, we don't charge any more. It's unlimited negotiations for the year. Yeah. And I don't think I mentioned this, Stephen. Stephen will, when you get to a contract stage or a term sheet, your coach will pass you over to Stephen. The initial earlier stages, the coach handles, right, Stephen? Okay.
Correct.
And Stephen will get to the deal where it's 95% done. And when it's 95% done, he'll say, look, you need an attorney to dot the I's and cross the T's. Last week we had a student that it literally only cost them $300 to do the final contract. Now, if they had called an attorney and the attorney was helping them through negotiation, first of all, there's a fairly high likelihood they would kill the deal, because attorneys make people mad. They start nitpicking stuff to death to get more billable hours out of you.
Yeah, but Andrew, more than that, some attorneys, for some reason, they're not involved in these negotiations so regularly that they don't really understand what you can get, what you can't get. They don't understand
the business side of it.
They really don't understand the deal, the art of the deal.
Yeah, they want patents, prototypes, manufacturing. Do you think a licensing attorney understands those things? You do.
Yeah, it's a completely different perspective, and it's more from a business perspective. They look at it from a legal perspective. And they're at a disadvantage. I hate to say that, because I think they do a good job, but when do you need them? We always bring one in at the very end that can look over that agreement and make sure no one's missed anything. But at that time, you've done 95% of all of it, you're ready to sign it, and they just make sure they give the stamp of approval.
Yeah, Stephen's going to tell you what to tell the company's going to change it and send it back to you, if you guys are wondering how that works. So in the future, you can get the deals to where they're 95% done, and then you're using that attorney only for dotting the I's and crossing the T's in the final deal. So a lot of people are thinking about the issues with patents and prototypes. They're not even thinking about this step, Stephen. And I think we're bringing a lot of value in helping people save money. Tremendous at this stage.
Well, and it's not just saving money. It's getting the deal done.
It's getting the deal,
So
yeah,
I tell everybody, look,
it's both.
you're going to
Yeah,
save a lot
yeah,
of money, but let's get the deal done. Because
Yeah, exactly.
It is
Yeah.
important. And I've seen people that don't have that type of expertise lose the deal because they get emotional. Maybe they ask for too much. And maybe they don't understand how to navigate it to everybody's happy. Because at the end of the day, after you're done, you have to work with everybody too.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
So hopefully you addressed your concerns about the negotiations and how we're going to help. So hopefully this video was helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.